The garden is full and the farmer's market is bursting with local fruits and vegetables. Your body's cravings for the heavy fats and proteins of winter and the pungency of spring naturally subside. Summer is the time to seek refreshing foods like cucumber, melon, and zucchini. This will alleviate discomfort from the hot, sharp, oily qualities of summer, the heat and humidity. The Ayurveda recipes of summer harness the bitter taste of fresh greens to cool the blood, the astringency of seasonal fruits to tone the tissues, and mildly sweet, not sugary, mildly sweet foods like fennel and coconut to balance Agni, the digestive fire, in the digestive tract. My name is Regina Trailweaver, and I help people to gain and maintain physical, emotional, and mental health through the science of yoga, Ayurveda, and psychology. And in this video, I share some of my favorite summer recipes from the science of Ayurveda. Here is my dosa batter. It's been rising for a while, fermenting nicely. It is a combination of mung beans and rice. And first I soaked them for 6 hours, and then I blended them with some water and some coriander in the blender. And then I poured it into this bowl and covered it with this cloth. And it's almost like bread batter. It's risen, it's fluffy, it's so beautiful. And now I'm going to cook some dosas with it. So this second part, after I blended it with the water, this was much longer. This was at least 12 hours. And I was actually able to do it for more than 12 hours. And now I'll show you how to make a dosa pancake from this batter. Putting a little coconut oil in here. It's nice and soft because it's been so hot lately. And spreading that oil around evenly on the pan. And then I'll take about 1/4 cup. And spread it out as thin as you can. The first one's always a little, you know how the first pancakes are. So it's an experiment. Turn it down a little bit. Once it gets hot, it stays hot really well. And just like a regular pancake, I'm waiting for the bubbles to show me that it's ready to turn. And I can also see by the edges that it's getting nice and crispy. And of course, again, the first one's always an experiment to find out whether you need to cook it longer or not as long. Okay, I think it's ready. So I probably could have cooked that a little bit longer, but now we'll cook on the other side. But the important thing now is I have a really good sense of how long I need to put it on each side, what are the things I need to look for when it's time to turn it over. And it will take a while to cook up this whole batter, so it's a little labor intensive on this end. There's a lot of time on the front end with letting the rice and beans soak for such a long time and then grinding them up. That doesn't take long, but you do have to, the blender has to be involved with that. And then the overnight or at least 12 hours of rising and fermenting. But that's not your time. So it's really quick and easy to soak them in water and then let the blended rice and beans rise. You just have to plan ahead, that's all. But then this part here is pretty labor intensive. So this is how long it's taking just to cook one dosa. And there it is. So start in the center, and then you can make it flatter from the center. Sort of keep helping it to move out and away from the center. So that's how I should have done the first one. But anyway, then, like I said, it's a little labor intensive, but while you're cooking up the rest of them, you can eat one, which is super fun. Oh my God, that's so good. It's just the yummiest thing ever. And it's full of fiber, full of protein. So it would be great to put some yogurt on this. And I'm also going to make some mint chutney, and I'll show you what that looks like. And it's really yummy, putting that mint chutney on the dosa with a little yogurt. Oh my gosh, so delicious. And then you have a little more calcium as well. And again, just naturally low calorie and nutrient dense. That's Ayurveda. 3 doses are 180 calories, have 7 grams of fiber, 8 grams of protein, and 10% of the recommended daily allowance of calcium. This beautiful breakfast dish is made with barley, nectarine sautéed in coconut oil with cinnamon and cardamom, and almond milk added for calcium and protein. The detoxifying beet queen has 290 calories, 15 grams of fiber, 4 grams of protein, and 15% of your daily need for calcium. This berry smoothie is made with seasonal fruits, berries in this case, almond milk, and protein powder. 280 calories, 20 grams of protein, 10.5 grams of fiber, and 55% of your daily need for calcium. This lentil dal with collard greens, sautéed collard greens added in, is so low in calories that I get to have some naan bread with it. It's 130 calories, has 12 grams of protein, 11 grams of fiber. It doesn't have any calcium, but you can always add yogurt to almost any Ayurvedic food to round things out. It may seem counterintuitive to eat soup in the summer, but this soup is full of cooling ingredients, and it's really delicious, and you can just wait until it cools down before you eat it. And here's the fennel chopped up, sautéed in ghee. And of course that fennel is really high in fiber. And now I've added in the bok choy greens, and that's really high in calcium. And then I added in some white beans. I did add them from a can. Ideally, you would cook them yourself. It's a lot more labor intensive. I use a can of organic white beans. You could also use chickpeas. And then I added in some water. And you can see there a big old teaspoon of red miso just to give it a little more flavor. And now I'm going to bring this all to a simmer. I don't want to boil it because of the miso. We want to keep the nutrients in the miso intact, and that's it. This literally took less than 10 minutes. And I top it off with a little fresh dill. That smells good. There's really no need to count calories when you're eating an Ayurvedic diet. I just wanted to show you how few calories you eat to be so full, so satisfied. Shred up 2 cups of beets. It only took a few minutes to do this, and it's the most labor-intensive part of the whole thing. And then add half a cup of shredded coconut. Fry that up for a few minutes, and then you'll add some cinnamon, some salt, and some water, and let that finish cooking. And while that's happening, you can work on the rice and/or the cucumber raita. Make the spiced salt mixture for the rice. For the cucumber mint raita, I have shredded half of a cucumber. We have 1 cup of yogurt, some mint from the garden, and some salt and pepper and a little coriander. And we'll mix that all together and make a delicious mint cucumber raita. The flavors here are absolutely stunning. It is a little bit spicy, but with that cooling cucumber raita, it is amazing. So take a bite of the beet and coconut and spicy mix with that, and a bite of the rice with the spiced nut mixture and some lemon and some cilantro, and dip that into the raita. This is so delicious. I can't even begin to tell you how happy I am. This lunch dish of beets, rice, and yogurt is called beetroot palya, and Ayurveda agrees that lunch should be the biggest meal of the day. So this is 495 calories with 10 grams of fiber, 21 grams of protein, and 14% of your daily recommended allowance of calcium. And I'm focusing on calcium because being postmenopausal, we need a lot of calcium. But calcium is good for you at every age. This dish of peaches, chia seeds, almond milk, and yogurt has 310 calories, 15 grams of fiber, 18 grams of protein, and almost 50% of your daily need for calcium. This is part of my program, Yoga and Ayurveda, Natural Rhythms and Healing Routines. We need to get back to nature. I know it sounds kind of hippy-dippy. Let's all go back to Woodstock and all that. But really what I'm talking about is the science of Ayurveda. And there was something to what the hippies were beginning to understand. We were so disconnected, right, from the natural world. And Ayurveda is very much based in the natural world. So with each season, with each time of day, with the time of week, the time of month, and the times in our lives, right? Are we younger? Are we older? What are we going through? We need to have physical activity and nourishment that's appropriate for what is happening in this moment of our lives. So my program helps you to establish those healing routines and those natural rhythms on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a seasonal basis, and through the stages of your life. So check it out, Yoga and Ayurveda, Natural Rhythms and Healing Routines. It's from the science of Ayurveda. Based on the science of both yoga and Ayurveda, and infused with my understanding of the science of psychology. And of course, as always, you'll hear me say this over and over again, the psychology is already baked in to the practice of yoga and the science of Ayurveda. These ancient people truly understood what it meant to have optimal health and live your happiest life.